good one today. We're going to look at Arweave. This one's got the boys pounding Qualudes all day, man. Let's go. Man, this chart looks tremendous. A lot of people are sleeping on Arweave right now, but they don't remember last cycle. This one was the sweetheart of the cycle, right? This is one of those coins that kind of surprised everyone and was doing AI type protocol before that was actually a thing, you know, and it went to 91 from down here at $9. So that was a 10x. I like these kind of coins because people that bought down here and ran it up, you know, they associate good feelings with the 10x on a large cap, right? So if they distributed up here and they took profits responsibly, they're likely to run it up again. And from what I remember, there were crypto hedge funds that were bidding this. They were max bidding last cycle. So I'm expecting a similar move. You know, it may or may not happen, but I honestly feel like this is going to be one of the sleepers that's going to run pretty soon. The other thing I really like is when you pair it with fundamentals. Like, look at this. Circulating supply, basically 65, 66 million total supply. 100% of the supply is out. So there's really no, I mean, the only supply overhang are going to be jackasses that didn't take profit here. But there's no dumping investing on this one, right? So unless that's inaccurate on CoinGecko or I'm reading it wrong, it sounds to me like there's no token supply. All the float is out, right? So this should be very good fundamentally. I don't see any potential token unlock smashing people's bids here. But first thing we'll look at is a reactive zone before I get carried away. I've identified 3, and usually I start with the composite volume profile. You could see a fat node over here. That high volume node is basically dynamic support resistance where a lot of volume was traded. You could see one right here before it took off. Here's a dead cat bounce, a little bouncing ball effect, retesting the point of control, and then collapsing to the lows, right? Eventually, it becomes a rotational market and, you know, it rejects the point of control here. But once it closes inside, you get this chop. And I always tell people high volume node is not where you want to be trading just because they're going to be targeting stops on both sides. This is a chop zone. But if you do buy here at the low of the high volume node, at least your position to the top of it, which in this case is going to be 32%, right? So the idea would be, you know, you take whatever size you do, you take off half here, you're positioned for it to break out, but you're also deep in profit, right? So that would have been a good area to buy. If you look at the daily structure that was developed before that, the second high volume node or reactive zone was right here. You have a pretty heavy cluster of supply. Once it breaks through, it just goes and goes and goes. Here you could see it was backtesting it as resistance once, twice, 3 times, 4, and then collapse. On the backside over here of that drawdown, it tapped it once and then it clean breaks through and then took off. I'm fucking retarded today, man. And then here you could see a really strong rejection or a pin bar candle. On top of that, what I like about this rejection or backtest of structure is it rebalanced the entire weekly and then cleared out the internal range. So that was a very good level that got absorbed. And then your last reactive zone, if we go back in time. So this liquidity raid started the structure here. You could see it come in again with 2 daily candles. And then it breaks out. On the way down, this is where the dead cat bounce happened. One more test here and then breakdown. Here you see a lot of reactivity coming off of it. And right now, after rebalancing that inefficiency over here and confirming this as new structure, we're basically consolidating right underneath that reactive zone. So that's a bullish signal. Usually when you've already absorbed this range and reacted really well, and then start consolidating underneath previous structure without drawing down or pulling back hard, that means there's probably going to be some contraction over here before a big move up, and they're probably just accumulating longs in this range. So I'm looking for this to get reclaimed. Your best buy, if you're not already positioned, would be a clean breakout retest, and then you'd be looking to long this structure right here. So that could be a really nice entry if you're not already in Arweave. The targets are going to be pretty clean too. You're basically looking at these levels and these, and then there's going to be some equal highs over there. And then above here, I mean, that's like $50, right? But if you break above 50, that would imply that on the weekly you formed a higher low in the range compared to down here. And now you'd just be looking for a higher high. So this thing could really send once you get above 50. And the whole idea would be to already have a position from the lows in case it does get sent. Now we'll look at the range. On the 12-hour, you could see this internal low got flushed when they rebalanced the weekly. And if you zoom in, off of this 4-hour VWAP, it's holding it here, here, and here. Your first draw is going to be these equal highs, so you know it's an area to take profit if they do something like this and deviate back under, just so you don't get stuck and then round trip the entire move. It's a good idea always to take profits at the first level. And then in this range, you're going to have a pretty, I'd say like a 3-day imbalance. Let's have a look. Yeah, you have a massive 3-day imbalance. And you can see what price does when it goes in this range. From below, it just ran right up. From above, it collapsed. So this area, you're probably going to get some acceleration up once you confirm closure, a strong closure above these wicks right here. So that looks good. 12-hour we'll go back into real quick. Yeah, up here, this blue bar or blue ray, these are a perfect draw. So I wouldn't look at this external high as the draw, because this high already took out the highs previous to, like in front of them here. So this is your inside wick. It already took all those outside wicks, whereas this wick right here did not take out the outside wicks. Instead, it's added liquidity to that pool. So price doesn't, even though it's in a buy program and it's probably going to reprice higher, it doesn't have to go to the external high. It might just go to the 886 and target these wicks right here. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be your intraday to high time frame draw. And the last thing I'm seeing in the range is a really distinct wave structure. So there's your impulse, corrective wave, impulse taking out the low, and that's your W. So I'm seeing a shark harmonic. So your first retrace was about 50%, and then you sent down to the 113, which is going to be your failed wave. In harmonics, Scott Carney talks about this, where basically you look for rejection on the lower low at the 113. If it does a strong rejection at the 113, you're likely in the beginning or early stage of a reversal on that second wave. So same applies if you're looking at it inverted like this. So if you're looking at, a top, you're looking for the 113 to reject and then confirm below the A. So that's kind of like your reclaim on the buy side here, where basically it's confirming A as support right here on intraday. And then your target for this shark harmonic is going to be the 886 of the full wave. And then the good thing is, if you apply a fib from B to C, your projection wave 1618 is lined up nicely with the 886. So that defines the extremity of the green box, and then the 886 is the bottom of it. Usually when you get a tight range for that potential reversal zone, that's a very strong harmonic. So I'm targeting up here, and to add to it, those 4 and 12 hour equal highs are right at the 1618. So this is going to be, you know, a serious draw once price starts marking up. So I'm looking at that level. Overall, very strong coin. It seems to do really well when things are bullish. It feels like there's a multiplier, meaning some coins go up an average like 5% in a day, whereas Arweave on a good day will go up like 12%. So you get a good multiplier if you're positioned well. And I can't remember if I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, but circulating supply is fully out. So your float is 100% on the market. There's going to be no supply, no vesting unlocks. Maybe there's some supply overhang from people that didn't sell up here, but usually it's a good sign when everything is already on the market. So I would look for very little sell pressure once there's a proper breakout. I think it's going to really run, and it could catch everyone sleeping if it breaks above 50. So the idea is to start your long down here, and hopefully we get a nice swing play out of this. All right, guys, enjoy your day. Cheers.